Hi, welcome to Vlogmas. I do have the microphone turned on today. This will be an ASMR type video because I believe I have to go to the next set of bags. I mean, I only have these little bits here. I think those are all duplicate pieces in case I have run out of pieces. Yes, starting with bags 2 and 2. Here, let me get these out of the way. Oh, and these are the light up mechanism. And here are the stickers. You guys need to know all this, right? Today's video is, oh my lord, all these number 2s. Are alternative types of therapies that might work for people with avoidant personality disorder. That is the topic of the next most popular of my videos, which completely makes sense to me. Why people would be interested in that. So weird. 6. This one doesn't have a number. And then 4s and 3s. Okay. There's 4s. There's the 3s. Back in the box. Boy, what do I do next? Grab some scissors. Those are excessive scissors. Grab some other scissors. Here we go. Let's get started. So again, it's another video I stand by, and it's visible for people who want to see it. Am I far enough up? My lord. I'm going to sort these separately. It's 5 bags of them. So, I suppose I should start talking. Have I said for the billionth time that sometimes it's really hard, even though I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in this video, for me to actually start talking and get going with whatever I'm talking about? Because of course I don't actually think I'm an expert on this stuff. And here's another thing where, you know what? I mean, what I talk about is actually opposite of what most therapists say and do, because the number one type of therapy that they believe will work somebody for who has avoidant personality disorder, or basically anyone, it's the default, is cognitive behavioral therapy, which, you know, yeah, I mean, I guess compare that to like a traditional psychotherapy, like, you know, the old Freud stuff. Yeah, it works a lot better than saying, oh yes, but I had this dream and my mother. I mean, those work for some people, but they also take a long time. And so it's not all that practical. These are some strange pieces here. Anyway, so if you've been offered CBT and that's all they're going to do, I'm sorry. My advice is get a better therapist, get a different therapist, which is really a harsh thing to say. Incredibly difficult for people with avoidant personality disorder. It's really hard. It's really hard to get a therapist in the first place. But then to think that you're worthy of, treatment that's actually going to help you. I mean, how dare you? I'm thinking this is a snowman. Look. Doesn't that look like a snowman? Anyway. I'm putting all these pieces together. Oh, wait, that's a little, I don't know. I'm all over here. Come on, get over there. Get over there. Try not to roll away. Cognitive behavioral therapy basically says, look at how you're functioning in the world, what your thoughts are, and does that match the reality? The problem when you have avoidant personality disorder is it doesn't matter that it doesn't match. Your brain is going to go back to whatever it was that caused you to become avoidant, because again, you have to have both a predisposition and a trigger. So if you had a trigger that and it's not just a one-time deal either, it's got to be a long-term thing. That's why they don't diagnose you until you're an adult. It has to have been over, I don't know how many years it is. It's been a really long time since I actually looked up the DMB. DMB? That's not the right word. Anyway, the DSM. See, I am not an expert. Anyway, that was a good one. Yeah, so see, now I'm completely off track. This is what I do to myself when I'm talking. I'm like, I'm absolutely useless. Look what I just said. Anyway, so if what you're doing is going back to look at all the things that you had done and said as a child or whatever, and they say, okay, yes, you had this pattern in your life, where you were not allowed to be yourself. Let's just call it that. You were not allowed to be yourself. Everything you did was criticized and judged, and and it happened for years and years and years and years. And it's also not something attached to puberty, because that's the other annoying thing to me, is that a lot of the symptoms of avoidant personality disorder are kind of like average teenager lifestyle stuff. So again, that would confuse the heck out of a therapist who does not have, well, even if they do have the specialty, because another window, we got more of these little clear things, because of course the number one specialist, I can't talk, why am I doing this, really came up with some wild and wacky and crazy things. So it's almost better to have somebody that is not a quote-unquote expert and has done the studying on avoidant personality disorder, because they're going to believe this wackadoodle guy who seems to think, all sorts of crazy stuff. Which the point of him coming up with all the crazy sort of add-ins, I guess you'd call it, was because he did not have enough subjects to do a proper study of his theories on avoidant personality disorder. He couldn't find enough people with avoidant personality disorder. So he's just like, okay, I'm going to randomly add some more people in and call it avoidant, when it's clearly something else. And I'm going to diagnose them as this so that I can include them in my studies, which, is pretty lame to me. And yet he's considered the expert. So if you've got somebody who's studied it and that's who they're using as their, you know, I don't know, mentor, I guess you'd call it, you're going to get some messed up stuff from your therapist. And I've had crazy amount of weird things happen in my therapy sessions. So there, now that I've trashed all therapists and experts on avoidant personality disorder, because of course I did. These are going to roll everywhere. Oh, and as an aside, so right now I have 2 cats. I have Poppy and just almost called her Lucy again. Well, her name was Lucy, but it's now whoa, we're rolling. It's now Lily, because of course all my cats are named after flowers, and I couldn't be more basic, right? So Lily is 15, Poppy is 10, Poppy is 20.2 pounds, and Lily is 9 pounds. Poppy actually needs a surgery. He needs to get his teeth cleaned. He doesn't have anything like major, giant, like nothing making it completely necessary, but this is a thing that cats need to do. You see what I'm doing over here? No. Well, take it from me, I'm just piling up these little red things. Anyway, so Poppy is basically considered not a good candidate for surgery. Teeth cleaning is a voluntary surgery. So they want him to lose weight. Yeah, right. If you, well, that's me being assumptive, that you have listened to my crazy video. I mean, this is a recap of, like, what is it, 12 years or something, of the ones that are the most popular, even though I'm not even talking about it today yet. I used to go for walks at night and talk about stuff. And the biggest reason I was doing this was to try to get Poppy to lose weight. We can't do that where we live right now because I moved, and now I live on a road that has a 50-mile-an-hour speed limit, and that's not cool for a cat to be walking on, so we don't do the walks anymore. So Poppy has now been put on a low calorie cat food diet, and he was really okay with it when it started, because he's like, yeah, food, any kind of food. Now he's a little bit less enthusiastic, and so what I've actually been doing is feeding Lucy on this table. So shove everything out of the way. It's going to be interesting with all my little piles of things. I'm going to have to come up with a new plan. I really am. And Lily comes up here to eat. Poppy eats on the ground. He could get up here if he wanted to. He's not that motivated for food. Anyway, how about back to the topic at hand? Although me going off on tangents is probably like the only thing that's a consistent anything to do with this channel. But again, I don't really feel like an expert. So CBT does not really work. The other thing, which I actually just talked about twice, the other thing that I was really found helpful was a DBT therapy. What DBT therapy was talking about, not the actual form that DBT was taking. I think this might be the roof with all these little bits. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe it's which I just went over it in the last video. All these little bits, I don't even see them on here, do you? Does it show on the back what it's supposed to look like on the back? Nope, it's the same picture. Well, sort of. They're not the roof. These do look like the roof, kind of. Oh, they're the window. Right there. Okay. So it will be doing the walls and the roof. Yeah, so learning what you learn in DBT. This one I'm going to leave because it's a whole bunch of little bits. I'm just going to leave this in there before we get going on anything else. Okay? Here's the microstole and still microphoning. It is good. Schema therapy in theory is completely great. What schema therapy does is it basically says you learned one way of doing things, and you basically transferred that your whole life to everything else, and you just basically do the same thing over and over again. Makes perfect sense to me. I mean, you don't have to learn how to go through each and every door, you know, like it's a brand new thing. You might have to take 2 seconds to figure out exactly how the door knob works. Maybe it's on a knob, maybe it's a handle, maybe there's no knob at all and you just push it. But for the most part, it's pretty basic, figuring out how to get through a door. And life is the same way. And this is a problem with somebody that has avoidant personality disorder, because you might have some truly traumatic thing happen to you, not be able to trust anybody. See, they're little fence pieces. You know, you might have some really untrustworthy people that you thought you could trust, that you were told to trust, that you believed that you should be able to trust in your life, and then suddenly, guess what? They're horrible, hideous people, and everything blew up. And so, therefore, you don't trust anybody. Because schematically, you shouldn't trust anybody. Because people, therefore, are untrustworthy. All people. Not this individual one person, but all people are untrustworthy. And it gets completely ingrained in you. And so then that's how you function in the world. Well, schema therapy helps you look at individual cases, first of all, but it also does the complete opposite, which is that it lets you learn in a lower stakes situation how to cope in a different way, and then you can transfer that skill of learning how to cope to other life situations, if that makes any sense. Okay, this is mostly separated. Look at all these pieces. So it can be probably extremely effective, depending on what you're trying to do with your life. The other thing that does work really well, I think, well, again, see, I'm saying this, hey, it works great. It does work great in specific situations for individual people. It works great, which is having a life coach type therapist. And the reason why that works really good is because it is not based on, let's ruminate about all of our past things like CBT does. You know, it's very not looking back, because CBT is, the aim is to heal the past so you can go forward in the future. Awesome, great. But, oh my goodness, are you serious? The first thing I need is the one that I don't. think it's in here. One of these little, the little black tag. I don't see any other little black tags. It's gotta be in here. Yep, there it is right there. Oh, figures. Okay, I'm still going to try to keep this in here and not separate them. Yeah, CBT wants you to, I mean, it sounds beautiful. If it could be done, it would be great. Which is to actually heal your thinking so that you don't think that way anymore. And it's healed. It's done. That's not how it works for somebody with avoidant personality disorder. And it's not how it works for a lot of people, and that's why different types of therapy are necessary. So, oh wait, let's get this right. So what a life coach does is basically focus on goals and helps you to break them down. And I mean, when it comes down to it, more of these things. When it comes down to it, I mean, that's what you want, right? You want to have your life improve. You've got certain things that you want. So it's going to take changes in your life, which is incredibly difficult to get that done. And oh wait, no, I need one that's yellow. So a life coach, where they're not actually like certified therapists, and a lot of them are quacks, you gotta watch out for it. They also can support you when you need to make changes in your life and help you come up with goals and really find what you need in your life in order to make progress. And I mean, that is the point of therapy. I mean, well, okay, there's multiple points of therapy. One point of therapy is to heal you. Another point of therapy is to support you. Oh, that's why there was two. What? Oh, 72, 70. I was like, I gotta do this 75 times? No. Okay, here's two of them. Let's do it again. Support you through a specific individual major problem in your life. Or again, to help you figure out what you want in your life and get it. This one's not right. Got a little lip. It needs not to have a little lip. But that means there should be more of them. Do these have little lips? I'm just not seeing it. Okay. Great. Maybe I'll be stopping very quickly. So those are really the types of therapy that work for somebody with avoidant personality disorder, rather than traditional CBT, what is quote unquote supposed to work, but doesn't. And then there are other types of therapies that could work. I mean, they could work. like they're, say, Reiki or something like that, which are trying to feel in your body where the trauma is located, and then exercise it from your body, which will exercise it from your brain. I don't know. I think that mindfulness is actually a really good example of something that will work, and I don't think I have the right ones. See, these ones, do they have, am I crazy? Oh, this one does have a little lip. I don't know. I mean, here they are. Oh, look, that one. Okay. In this picture here, no little lip. In that picture there, a little lip. So I guess they are interchangeable. This is what I'm talking about. See this one here? It like has an indentation. This one does not. Can you even see what I'm showing you? Here. Indentation, no indentation. Whatever. I'll just do these this way. And then the picture. No indentation, indentation. Oh, I didn't put my rings on either. Sorry. I hope that doesn't disturb anybody. Notice that. And actually showed you my hand. Oh, how weird. I have to find the right little knobby thing. And another one that's completely flat and black. Here's the pink one. Here's the black one. Doesn't want to go on. Hysterical, but the one I decided not to open and sort is the one that I'm actually pulling everything out. Of course. But again, oh yeah, mindfulness. Mindfulness you can learn in DBT. You can learn it separately. Now that I put all these piles here, they actually need the house. But that is really helpful, and the reason, and it's so like kind of like new age garbage, but what mindfulness, because you know it's like these, oh, I'm going to be mindful, blah blah blah, and they don't even know what they're talking about when they're saying this sort of thing. What mindfulness is useful for specifically is that it will bring you back to the here and now and out of whatever ruminating, hellacious pit that you've put yourself in, so that you're not stuck in the past and thinking of terrible, horrible things that had happened and can't get out of it. Instead, you will be able to come back to the here and now and not be stuck in the past. That is what the point of mindfulness is. So that is actually really, really helpful for therapy. My therapy session, I don't know. I basically use therapy as a way to cope. This whole thing has been crooked the whole time. Well, with some awful thing that's come up in my life. I'm saying that really flippantly, but it's the truth. What have I done with this one? Correct? Yes, this is correct. This is the first one that goes here. Really? Yeah. And then the pink and brown one. Let's see, pink and brown one. This one is here. This one here. Oh, no, it's pink and yellow, and the brown is on the other side. And the brown is, yeah, the brown's already there. This one goes here. All right, there. Front wall. So I think I'm going to stop there with this project, and also with the video, because I haven't found a perfect therapy for somebody with avoidant personality disorder. So working better than CBT basically means something that works at all. Because CBT actually, in most cases, makes somebody who has true avoidant personality disorder, actually makes them worse than where they started. But I haven't found anything that like really works, which sucks. Can't lie about that. I don't know, I wish that these videos were more helpful. And again, this is among the reasons why I'm so resistant to really come out and make them, because yes, it's a fact, and I know that's really helpful for people to hear these facts when they're basically fed hogwash of the worst is when you've got a therapist who is not able to get through because they can't, because you have avoidant personality disorder, which is a condition that doesn't change, provided that you actually have it. Again, make sure that you got the correct diagnosis, because why wallow in, this terrible situation of not being able to make progress and having your life basically kind of suck, if you don't have to. If you can make a change, make a change. Get an actual diagnosis and see if it's something else, because something else might actually make your life a lot better. You might have, say, borderline personality disorder and really respond to DBT and suddenly have relationships, and then it's not that you can't have relationships anymore and you can't trust people anymore, you feel like they're always going to attack you. They're not attacking you anymore because you've had therapy and there's no reason for them to. That would be awesome. So provided that you have had the diagnosis, you really have avoidant personality disorder, and it is, you're of an age where it's stuck. Because I think the age they came up with was 28 is when your personality is absolutely set, which means if you have a personality disorder, but you're younger than 28, you can adapt it, and that it won't be as strong or as terrible, or maybe even you won't even have it. Maybe you'll have traits and you won't have the full personality disorder, which would be amazing and awesome, and kudos to you if you can pull that off. I wish that I'd had somebody with a clue early enough that I didn't have to have full-blown avoidant personality disorder. I don't know anybody that actually wants it. And I wish there was a therapy that really worked. I mean, my personal therapy is the traveling that I do, which is quite extensive. And the reason I do it is because instead of being caught up in the stress of whatever I'm going through at that moment in life for real, I can stop and think about, well, in the future, this other thing is going to happen, and go with that. So that's what's helpful to me. That's not therapy. And there's a lot of people, especially with avoidant personality disorder, the ones who are the more that they need to have things that they know in order to feel comfortable, as opposed to me, which is that I don't trust people who I know at all. And so I need basically strangers in order to feel comfortable and safe. As crazy as that is, especially in our world now. I feel that as soon as somebody gets to know me, they're going to mill me for everything they can get out of me, mind me, and then, well, first of all, never reciprocate, and secondly, they're going to have it blow up in the worst way possible, either 100% betrayal or abandonment, or pointing it out to me how quote unquote needy I am for wanting reciprocation. And so a stranger won't do that. And a stranger doesn't give half crap about you at all. So they're not going to be monitoring you. They're not going to be paying attention to what you're doing. They're not going to throw it back in your face, whatever you're doing. So I prefer strangers. And for that reason, traveling is good. Whereas if somebody had the opposite sort of orientation of avoidant personality disorder, traveling would be the worst thing they could possibly do. So, yeah. I mean, if I knew there was a therapy that worked, let me tell you, I would shout it from the rooftops. But I don't. You got to take a little of this and a little of that. See what works for you, keep that, and throw out what doesn't work for you. Anyway, I'll end this, and see you tomorrow. Bye.